Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Nigerian Community Chronicles Podcast, live stream edition. This maiden episode marks the beginning of a new chapter in how we engage with Nigerians in the diaspora by discussing the real issues that affects us where we live, work, and raise our families. We discover that many of our brothers and sisters in the diaspora face salient struggles, challenges they might not be comfortable sharing publicly. This live format allows us to bring experts and experienced Nigerians who can shed light on these realities, with help where needed. Our topic is one that strikes at the heart of the diaspora experience: identity and belonging. How Nigerians in the diaspora balance their cultural heritage with integration into their host communities. To explore this, we have two distinguished guests with us on the show today. First, Olola Ajayi, an accomplished HR practitioner and management consultant who has lived in the UK since the early 1990s, with experience spanning both the public and private sectors and business interests in the UK and Nigeria. Olola brings deep insights into life across both cultures. Viewers, please join me to welcome Olola Ajayi.
Good evening. I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. Also, we have Olatokunbo Okeowo, a highly experienced IT professional, program manager, and system consultant, whose career journey from Nigeria to the UK mirrors the story of many successful Nigerians balancing ambition with identity in a foreign land. Please, once again, join me in welcoming Olatokunbo Okeowo to the show.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm extremely honored to be here.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, please, let's get straight into the business of the day. Tokes, having studied and worked extensively in the UK, how did you manage to integrate professionally and socially while maintaining your Nigerian values and sense of identity?
Thank you for that question, Femi. I was fortunate enough to be born in Liverpool in the 60s, and my parents moved us back to Nigeria at some point. And after getting my bachelor's in politics, philosophy, and economics in the greatest university in the world, Ife,
Wow.
I came back here and then switched my career to IT. Now, the fact that you are born and you are bred in the Nigerian culture becomes so ingrained in you. And then when you come here to England, you assimilate and integrate into the culture. And you find yourself trying to maintain a balance between both. And I suspect that that is what you find in most homes where you have different cultures. And be it Chinese, be it Indian, being Pakistani, again, you have to maintain that culture. At home, there is almost a different culture, which is your original culture. And at work, there is the British culture. So you find a way to marry both. Now, whilst in the working environment, of course, you always have to express yourself and you have to be as real as you can. So when questions are asked about your origins, about your background, you can only be as honest as you can to spell it out. and people working in your environment begin to understand the differences that you bring to the workplace, and so you will always have the banter about your culture, and you can make references to your background, and once you are accepted, and once you perform to the best of your ability as you should, then you become respected for who you are.
Thank you very much, and Tokes, for that very insightful response. Olola, you have lived in the UK for over 3 decades and maintained strong ties with Nigeria. How do you personally navigate having one leg in one culture, British by environment, but Nigeria by heritage? How did you manage that?
Well, like Tok said, it's quite easy when you come here as an adult and you already know who you are and you're confident in who you are. Being Nigerian, for me, is a plus in a multicultural Britain. And
Right.
I've found that it has helped me in my career because I bring this different perspective to work. Like Tok said, once you prove yourself and you're able to show that you know what you're doing, people tend to gravitate towards you. I work, for instance, I'm known as very passionate about my culture. Fridays are my Nigerian days, and that's when I wear my Nigerian attire to work.
Right.
So I've come to be identified at work as a strong Nigerian that brings a lot of competencies to the table. So I think what matters is your performance at work. If you are able to do well at work, people will accept you, and you don't need to minimize who you are. Be proud about who you are, and you'll find that our British hosts, they actually enjoy you being who you are. So it's been easy for me. I've been able to achieve that balance, and I find that being who I am has helped me. Just say it that way.
Fantastic. Thank you very much also for that, Olola. Tokes, let me come back to you. In fact, you have studied, I'm looking at the way, when I read your profile, in your line of work, you have felt the need to adapt, just like you said earlier, or tone things down a little bit as part of your cultural identity to fit into the professional and corporate environment. How can you advise our viewers to emulate that?
Well, I was lucky enough when I went into IT. It was quite a while ago. It was just about the early 90s, and I started as a systems engineer, rising all the way. I spent over 25 years. And I remember there was for quite some time, especially as I moved up to a project manager role, and I tell a lot of people this, especially people who I relate to, 95% of the meetings I attended, especially in the 90s, I found that I was the only Black person there. And not only that, I was, well, of course, I was the only Nigerian. I remember walking into a meeting one day, and somebody with whom I had related with on the phone, she couldn't help herself. She said, "Tokes, I thought you were Japanese." I said, "Why?" He said, "Your name." I said, "For some reason, your surname Okeowo, I read it as Okinawa, which is a place in Japan." I'll never forget that. So again, what you have to do is you have to focus on yourself and your ability, and you have to focus on your delivery. And what I advise people, as I often do, is given. You have to do the best for yourself. You have to present the best version of yourself, and then you'll be accepted for who you are. I hope that
Thank you
answers
very
your
much.
question.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, very definitely. Thank you very much. Let me come back to you, Olola. Many immigrants' parents, worry that their children may lose touch, with their Nigerian roots. From your family and professional experience, how can parents help the younger generation appreciate their heritage while integrating, successfully in this community?
Thank you. It is an Herculean task. For me personally, from when my kids were very young, I made it a point of duty to speak Yoruba to them.
Right.
At the beginning, it was difficult. They always laugh at me like, oh, what's this man talking about? But over time, they started grasping the language, and I
Right.
made it a point of duty. Like, I don't speak English to them at all. I just speak Yoruba to them. And so they had no choice than to learn or understand what I was saying. And at home, I play a lot of Ebenezer Obey, a lot of Sonny Ade, a lot of Nigerian music. So what I find is later on, by the time they grow up, when Afrobeats start coming up, is the kids, even the music that I'm not aware of, they are the ones playing it back to me and saying, Dad, have you heard this? Have you heard this? And to be honest, within me, I was so proud that they've integrated or they've like imbibed so much about their Nigerianness that, and I made it a point of duty to when they were young to make sure that I take them home regularly. So when they go to Africa, they see different things. Like my first child is girl. I think I took her home when she was 5, and that was the first time she was gonna see a live chicken. She'd never seen live chicken before, and it was fascinating to her. It was like, because I had a grandmother in the morning that she had a pen, chicken pen, and they come around in the morning and she throw corn at them, and so to her it was like, wow, this is a different world. And she keeps she still talks about that till today. And now that there's Dirty December, the kids want to go back home every December to experience, to experience what is going back in Lagos. So to me, I think parents have a lot of work to do. Don't be deterred. Don't feel like, they may not understand you, or just keep persistence is the name of the game. Just keep trying, and eventually they'll get there.
Fantastic. Thank you very much with that, Olola. I'm very sure that our viewers will resonate with that suggestion. I'm coming back to you again, Tokes. What advice will you give to newly arrived Nigerians trying to find their footing, balancing who they are culturally with the needs to adapt to their new surroundings? Talking about Chakwa syndrome.
Well, first of all, and for those who have been in the UK for a long time, and hopefully, Ayo, you will agree with me here, the UK itself has transformed a lot.
Yes.
When we came into this country in the late 80s, early 90s, the UK then was not as open as it is now. I can't remember there was any advert on TV that had black faces. So there wasn't that much black identity being expressed. I think the wave of us Nigerians and Africans that came into the country during the early 90s. I remember KICC, which is a big church, just opening just around that time as well. So you were kind of beginning to see visibility, and that has grown over the years. So for any Nigerian or any Nigerian family wanting to come into the country, I believe it's important for them to do their research, do their homework, not necessarily believe the false stereotype that you have pound sterling kind of flowing on the floors in England and London, that all you have to do is just to arrive and come and pick it up. I have the story of a friend of mine, and I think I refer to this as a classic example. I hope he's watching. He was working in a bank. He was one of the executives in a bank in Lagos, and he was kind of he wanted to change his lifestyle and bring his family to England. And he asked for my advice. And I said to him, look, I mean, if you have a radio, or if you have a TV, try and listen to BBC and understand the culture of the British, understand the nuances, understand their communication style, understand their reasoning. And I didn't believe that he would kind of listen to me, but actually I found that he did. So when he landed in the country, he basically landed on his feet running, and he's well established now. So for any Nigerian thinking of migrating to England, please do your research. Please try and understand the culture of the people that you're coming into, because that will help you to settle quickly.
Fantastic. I like that. Thank you very much, Tokes. Olola, I'm coming back to you again, towards the end of this segment. As someone active in both business and community life, what role do you think Nigerian associations and networks play in helping immigrants feel a sense of belonging and identity abroad? I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. There are quite a lot of them.
Thank you very much. I think the role of community cannot be overemphasized.
Right.
The new entrants now are lucky that I believe there is no town, city in the UK now that you don't have a considerable, large Nigerian community. So you have an established community to tap into. Not necessarily joining associations like UNIDO and Nigerians in Diaspora and things like that, but church, family, friends, these are the communities that you can tap into that would help you in finding your feet quickly. But while you're doing that, don't at the same time neglect the need to integrate. It's very important, because I find that some people, they come to the UK, and because they found an established Nigerian community, they avoid integrating into the British society. It is important that you do, because that is what will help you career-wise. That is what will help you in understanding, like Tok said, the nuances and the way the people behave or the way they act in this country. So it's good to be a part. Find Nigerians. When I first came to this country, I used to live in Victoria. And whenever I see a black person on the street, I used to run to them and say, "Are you Nigerian?" And they said, "No." "Well, you're black. Well, you still, can I get to know you?"
They were mostly West Indians then.
And we were exchanging numbers, and ceaselessly, I keep tapping into people, talking and finding opportunities. And that is because no man is an island. You need people to help you advance in the society. So don't seclude yourself. It is very important.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for those thought-provoking, insights. I am sure many of our audience, can relate to what you have shared. The balance between holding on to one's root and finding your place in a new, country. We now move to the interactive part of the program, where you, our viewers, can call in to share your thoughts, ask questions, or even seek advice. Let's hear your own stories of balancing identity and belonging here in the UK. You can now call, on the number displayed on your screen. If you've ever faced any questions or of identity at work, in your community, or even at home, we'd love to hear your story or questions for our panelists. So, gentlemen, I've got a few questions already on our comment section. I'm going to be taking them one after the other. And also, if there's anyone calling, we will, have a list of people that have that are waiting in the queue. I'm just trying to check whoever we have on the queue. Right. Fantastic. I've got a first question for you, gentlemen. Helping our children to embrace the best of both worlds is what I advocate for families. Can you expatiate on that for our viewers, please?
Do you want me to take that on, or do you want to take that on?
I mean, let's just, you can take that. Olola.
I think it's important. The kids have no choice, really. The kids, because they go to school here and they mix with young people of their age, so they are one way or the other. They must integrate and they must be able to cope with, because if they don't, they won't be able to cope with school. My youngest child came when she was very young. I took her to Nigeria, but she was finding it difficult to integrate. So I brought her back. And when I brought her back, one of the things she said to me was she enjoyed it more here because she could relate more with the people she met in school, the young people she went to church with, than when she went back home. Although she was surrounded by family and friends, but it was a different world for her. So it's important for young people, and we as parents, we should help them. We should participate in school activities. I found that many Nigerian parents don't participate in school activities. When they call you to come to school, or when they're having events in school, go, share your views. Your kids, it helps them. They enjoy when their parents come around to see them. Maybe they're performing a school song or something, and you're in the crowd. It helps them to integrate. So it is important that for balance, that the kids should be helped to find their feet in the British society.
Thank you very much. I forgot to mention the person that asked the question is by the
Hello?
name K.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going for the next question now from Feyishola. How do Nigerians abroad navigate issues like accent discrimination or cultural stereotypes? Do you want to take that, Tooks?
Yes, thank you for that. And that's a very, very good question because, the UK is a multicultural society. And therefore, you have people speaking in so many different accents. You have the Indian accent. You have the Pakistani accent. You have, that's English. You have the Nigerian one. You have the African
just
one.
like us.
Just like us. Now, not only that, you actually have the regional accents in England, the Scottish accent, the Geordie accent from Newcastle, the Yorkshire accent, the Essex Cockney accent. So for anybody wanting to settle down, it's important for you to learn to hear all these varieties of accents. I actually think that this variety adds to the richness of the United Kingdom. I've spent a lot of time traveling up and down United Kingdom, and there are some fabulous people, wonderful people. I know, I spent some time in Newcastle, the Geordies. If you can hear their accent, God help you. So you yourself have to kind of find a way to make sure you improve your communication style, your accent, so that you are heard, so that you are able to communicate effectively. And the Northern Ireland accent as well, that's very strong. So there's a variety. But yes, it can help you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
If I may add, to that.
Please go ahead.
Don't be conscious or subconscious of your accent. See, some people feel because you have a Nigerian accent, you will not be able to communicate, or you'll not be able to. No. Don't, because like Tok said, there is no accent you're bringing into the workplace or into the environment that it has not been heard before. Right. And one thing about Nigerians, it's the British, they praise us for our grounding in the language, in the English language. And because most of us, we've gone to school, we've acquired the basics. And when we come here, we may not be able to speak like the British, but we communicate better. We speak better English. It's like an Igbo boy that grew up in Ibadan, for instance, you find they tend to speak a better Yoruba than the Yorubas that were born and grew up in Ibadan. So don't feel intimidated that your accent is not British.
Yeah.
Feel free.
Thank you very much, Olola. I think I can speak to that as well myself. You see the way I speak. I've not changed my accent. I still have a very strong Ibadan man accent. All right, let's take the next question from Shade. Do you think Nigerians in the diaspora support each other enough, or do we need to do more? Wow. Ola, you want to go first? That's a good question.
I think, to be honest with you, when I came in the 90s, in London, the Nigerian community supports one another. We gravitate towards one another and we share information. We tell people about updates, where you can get jobs, where you can. So I find that even in the UK, I would say we're the best in sharing camaraderie. That I've been to other parts of Europe, I've been to America, and I find the Nigerian communities in these places are not as united, so to speak, as we are in the UK. I don't know about the new set of people coming now, because I've not really interacted with the jackpass, so to speak. But people that came here in the 90s, in the 2000s, you find that we tend to like me now, I have a nucleus of friends that I've known from university.
Thank you.
So, and they're still my friends till today. And whatever I want to do, I'll call them up. For example, Tok's here, I've known him from way back in university. So whatever I want to do, I'll call him up. Oh, what do you think about this? Call other people up and they share out. They say, oh, I've done that before. It's worked for me. Try it. No, don't go there. So I think we're very good at sharing opportunities among ourselves and uniting. And I think we should keep it up. It's a good thing.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Olola. Tokes, I think you'd like to take our next question from Jackie, Joseph. What about those born here and trying to identify with being English and Nigerian?
Well, To my answer to that is, see, we are actually lucky that the Nigerian community, as the generations progress, we're now beginning to have idols and heroes and people who give us proud representation. So for example, again, if you compare this back to 30 years ago, where there weren't that many Nigerian role models. I remember the first Nigerian role model I found was a guy called Chris Akabusi, and Chris Akabusi was like was an athlete, but Chris was so ingrained, so entrenched in the English culture that you couldn't say that, well, he's an Igbo man. But now we've progressed beyond that. There's Anthony Joshua. There is all these people that are popular. We now have members of parliament of Nigerian origin. So it helps that you have these role models who are kind of keeping their original identity and also showing themselves as being fully integrated into the English and British culture. I love this country. I love Britain, and I love Nigeria too. And I think we are so lucky to be able to blend both qualities. Remember Anthony Joshua at a gathering at Westminster, he made a speech about how he loved Inyong and Egusi, and the British establishment, including the monarchy, were there. So that is an example of someone who is able to proudly show his identity of his Nigerian origin and his British nationality.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I'm going to take another question from our WhatsApp message, which is not on the comment section. The first is, what is your opinion about the Nigerians in the diaspora as at when you came and the difference to what we have now? Right. I think that was speaking to you, Olola. I think they are kind of asking questions based on your response earlier on. So
yeah,
you want me to
like
go
I
right
said,
again?
the difference is the difference is clear. It's like 7-Up. The difference is clear. When I came here, my first set of friends were Nigerians, people that I grew up with back home. People, the 90s was like the Japa period of this time. So we came en masse. So I was lucky to have a nucleus of friends that I grew up with back home, and I found them in England here. So every weekend in the 90s, there are parties, there are clubs to go to. And you don't go to parties alone, you don't go to clubs alone, you go with fellow Nigerians. So it did not make us feel like we were away from home. Even Nigerian food, in those days in Brixton, in Peckham, let me share an anecdote with you. I had a Jamaican girlfriend when I first came, and it was her birthday. And I wanted to do something special for her. So I went to Brixton Market and I bought this bushmeat, grass cutter. So she was at work, so I prepared pounded yam and bushmeat and everything. And she came back and served her the food. And she tucked in. She was enjoying the meal. She was enjoying the meat and said, "Oh, this meat is different. What meat is this?" I said, "It's bushmeat." So, bushmeat? What is bushmeat? So you're eating grass cutter. she was like, "What is grass cutter?" So we call it Oya. So I don't know what that is, but it tastes really good. So your Nigerianness was a badge of honor when we came. And the Nigerian community, like I said, was united. We gravitate towards one another. We move together. We help one another. And I think that's the model that should be followed by the people that are newly arriving into the UK.
Thank you very much, Olola, for that. Tokes, I hope you don't mind to take the question on the comment section on our screen. How can the second generation of Nigerians abroad, those born in the UK or other countries, better connect with their roots?
Well, again, that's a very good question. First of all, the being Nigerian, we know that part of our peculiarities is our emphasis on education. So the second generation of those born here, people of my generation that came, we and our parents were able to emphasize the importance of education. So you find a lot of second generation going to universities and becoming quite enlightened. Now we also have so many institutions, especially the religious institutions, the churches, the mosques, are doing a great job in kind of keeping that collection of Nigerians together, so that you have your aunties, you have your uncles, you have expectations placed on you. I mean, it's like if you don't, when we were growing up, if you didn't pass and went to university, I mean, your parents will feel that you've let them down. So connecting to those roots, connecting to what it means to be Nigerian, to be successful, to be proud, to be dignified, to be established, to have a home, have a good family. And luckily, we also now have the impact of things like Nollywood, which shows our young Nigerians here, gives them a picture of life in Nigeria and helps them to understand the culture and helps them to be able to blend their culture with the English culture. I think it's a bonus, because certainly for my kids find it enriching, the fact that they have English friends and they have Nigerian friends, and they can take their friends along and go to a Davido or Burna Boy concert, and they can meet in church, and they can form associations, and they can worship, and they can do all these things. It's an enriching experience.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I've got another question or comment on the screen, which I would like Olola to speak to, which I think is a direct response to one of your, discussions earlier. It says, I don't think Nigerians in diaspora support each other enough. I would like you to speak to that a little.
Well, I can only speak from my own experience.
Yes.
Like I said, 90% of what I've achieved in this country came from my interaction within the Nigerian community. I'm a guy that I'm sociable, so I have a wide network of Nigerians, and it has helped. I found that it has helped me career advancements, business-wise. Even now, I'm thinking of going into a new business, and I know a few Nigerians that are already doing it, and I'm tapping into their knowledge. I'm asking questions. You see, it is when you throw yourself away, when you seclude yourself from the Nigerian community, that is why when you find or you feel there is no unity or people are not being helpful. Like Tok said, how can you go to a church? You have Nigerian churches here. How can you go to a Nigerian church and you're telling me in that congregation you don't see people that will mentor you, you don't see people that can be role models for you, you don't see people that can help you find jobs? It's impossible. It is when you yourself make yourself available and you avail yourself of these opportunities, that is when you get the maximum of being a Nigerian in a Nigerian community.
Ayo, let me just jump in there. If you remember in the 90s, Ayo, when our set came in, we went into the UK civil service. and it was mostly done by word of mouth. If you knew that there was an admin officer or executive officer vacancy in the DTI, for example, after you went for the interview or before you went for the interview, you told other people that, oh, look, there are vacancies. You remember then? And because they employed people en masse, you then found a lot of Nigerians kind of working in the DSS, working in the, because I started from the UK civil service. And that's how we did it. We did it by word of mouth. Now, it's much better now. You have all these organizations and institutions. You just have to make sure that you network and you find good mentors that can help give you advice along the way.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I think I also like to speak to that because, I'm sure all of us have had our, kind of a real life experience. I think for me, it's actually what you put in is what you get back.
Yes.
Kind of, for you to find yourself in any environment, even within the Nigerian community, you still have to be there to support, create the community. That's exactly what we are doing now. So that way people will come around. We cannot always say that you can't get something from Nigerians. We cannot always look at the bad side of things. We should be able to help each other, contribute, and then you will still get the feedback. That's the way I see it. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for speaking to that particular comment. We have somebody waiting, to come live to ask his question. But while we are waiting for him, another comment on the screen, which is what roles do cultural associations or community platforms like NACID play in helping Nigerians abroad feel connected, and what's the best way to keep in touch with them constantly? I think I would like to speak to that because NACID is actually the engine behind this live stream podcast. So it's an opportunity to let our viewers know that, yes, please visit NACID, NACID.org. NACID is an acronym for Nigerian Alumni Community and Association in Diaspora. It's a portal developed for all Nigerians globally to come together on one platform, a 360-degree one-stop shop where we can chat, discuss, find a mentor, find work, buy and sell, do a lot of things. Get information about finances, get information about immigration, get information about, traveling abroad, buying properties either in Nigeria or anywhere in the world. So it's a platform that I think will unify us as Nigerians in diaspora. So please, try and visit it. It's free membership. It's nacaid.org, and soon we are going to publish or launch rather the new user interface. I'm sure Ayo and Tokes have actually visited. They are members already. You want to say one or two things, Tokes?
Well, it's yes, as you rightly said, it's a great platform, and it's an example of platforms that unite and bring people together. But Femi, what you said was most important. It's important for people to seek knowledge, to seek networks. It's what we've done before. There was a time when Nigerians started buying houses, mortgages, taking mortgages in the 90s. It was a case of Ayo has done it. Ayo, what did you do? How did you do it? And Ayo will refer you to the broker. Ayo will refer you to the lawyer, and Ayo will make sure that he's able to answer questions. So networking has got us all far. Therefore, you cannot isolate yourself. I do a lot of mentorship, and I know a lot of people do, and you must reach out and seek knowledge through mentors.
Thank you very much for that. What about you, Olola? You want to chip in one or two things, please?
It's basically the same. But again, it is important. I must emphasize this. Your circle is very important. Your circle in the UK is very, very important, particularly when you first came into the country. If you arrive somewhere and the people that are in your circle are mostly into cleaning jobs, security jobs, chambermaid, whatever, that is the line you tend to follow. But if you network widely, you will still find some of your mates. When we first came, the first job I did was cleaning, because that is what everybody around me was doing. But as I was cleaning, I was talking to my friends from uni. They're telling me, oh, there's, like Tok said, vacancy in the civil service. There's vacancy here. You can apply here. And by doing that, you find that you move away from the initial things that you were doing to get into the mainstream of British jobs.
That's right.
When you do that, it is also important that you improve yourself academically. The degrees that you've brought from Nigeria are good, but try and do a second degree here if you can. That also would help you, because on your CV, they see a British university, apart from your university back home. It shows that this is a man that has integrated. He has gone to school here.
Oh, sorry, I think we lost Ola there. Now we have a guest, a viewer rather, waiting in the waiting room wants to come live to ask his question. Oh, sorry, Ola, you are back. Apology, we lost you.
It's all right. It's all right.
Right. So we have one of our viewers that wants to ask his question, and we're going to ask the tech team to bring him in now so that I can ask his question. Please go ahead. Introduce yourself and ask your question. Your mic is on mute. Okay, yeah, better. We can hear you now. We can't hear you properly. It's too faint.
Is it better now?
Better, yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir. My name is Kolade.
Yeah, it's still very faint. I'm not sure if everybody can hear you. I can barely hear you.
Oh, okay. Could it be because I'm using the airport?
Yeah, I think it's because of your AirPod. Your AirPod is not. Okay, you can use your phone.
Okay. Is it better now?
Much better. Much better.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sir. So glad to be here tonight. Privileged to be here. I've had a lot of information that possibly would have maybe witnessed such event before I actually moved to UK, maybe when I was in Nigeria. If I had the privilege to witness this kind of program, maybe I will have prepared much better, and then it will have helped me to navigate so much well when I first landed here in the UK. You know, especially one of the things that Mr. Tokes mentioned about making research. I think most of the time, Nigerians, where we're back in Nigerians before coming to the UK, we always looking forward to what we're going to do in the UK. We don't really pay attention to the culture in the UK to know how people behave, how to integrate well enough in the UK. So we only focus on what we are going to do. And that is a big challenge, because by the time you get to the UK, the policy and everything destabilizes whatever plans that you have. I've asked questions from so many people that how was it when you first got to UK? And then the response has always been the same. Like, what I planned was not what I met when I got here. And that was because our expectations way back home, maybe because of our systems, the way things runs at home, we can easily approach each other. If you don't work, you can approach maybe your family members and ask them for maybe some financial assistance. But here in the UK, everyone is working. Nobody have anybody's time. So when you get here and then you are thinking that you possibly have some family members somewhere that still have your time and it doesn't work. So the expectation is far above what we met whenever we come here. So I think if there could be some programs like this, I want to believe that a lot of people were having some kind of programs like this, but maybe Nigerians in back home, if we can do more of research, just like Tokes have said, before coming down to understand the nitty-gritty of the place we are going, everything, how it works, the cultural diversity and everything, I think it will really, really be helpful. So I just want to ask some more questions. I've been here for just about few years, and I've seen that the policy is not consistent. So today we have something, tomorrow we have another thing, especially when it comes to immigrants. In fact, at some point, it's more like the policies were more centralized on the immigrant. So I want to know, when you were here at first, has the policy ever been like this, or is just a new thing? Especially because if it is a new thing, then we will understand that maybe something else is happening. But if it has been like this ever since, then we already have an idea where the policy direction is also going.
Tokes, you want to take that? Yeah, Ola. I think I understand where the question is going. Please go ahead.
Can I take the answer?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. Thank you for your question. And see, the United Kingdom is a very unique country in that it has an unwritten constitution. It does not have a document, a single document like the United States of America or Nigeria, which governs it. The United Kingdom is a country which functions through acts of parliament, which is statutes, common law, historical acts, judgments, precedent judgments. So you wouldn't find a constitution that says this is how things are done in the United Kingdom. No. It's the basic philosophy covering governance in the United Kingdom is based on pragmatism. So if the government sees that there is a certain problem, it will bring in a law to address that problem. So that is why you are saying that things keep changing. It is the nature of the country. So you have to get used to it. That is why, like I say to people, if you cannot live in England without a plan, you have to have a plan, because you never know, and you must find a way to execute your plan. So you must have a strategy and you must execute it, because you never know when the law may change. I don't know if that answers your question, but I hope it helps.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Olola, you want to have a word on that too?
Yeah, if I may add to that. I think we were much luckier when we came. There was much stability, and the laws were not changing every three months like they are doing now.
Yes.
And that is because of the new wave of anti-immigration that is sweeping the world, especially since the emergence of Donald Trump. So you find that there's a new nationalism that is sweeping around countries in Europe and America, and politicians, because the nature of their job is to get votes from the people. So they tend to follow the trend and do things that will earn them votes. So I can understand your concern as they are now. But one thing I found in the UK is no matter the topsy-turvy nature, it has always been like this. Immigrants, they talk about immigrants and anti-immigration, but things will settle. Just keep your heads down, do what you're supposed to do, and you find there are people that I've known over the years that it took them ages to get their papers, but eventually they get it. It may be difficult, but eventually they'll get it. When we first came, it was like, for instance, when I first came, I came in here, I was under 27. And when you come into the country as a Commonwealth citizen under 27, immediately you arrive, you are given a 2 years extension, just being a Commonwealth citizen. So you have a leeway, even as a visitor. I spent my first 4 months, then I applied for the Commonwealth thing. So got the Commonwealth thing, so gave me a leeway of 2 years to find a country. Now it is so difficult. And I feel for you guys, because to me now, the country is making money off your back. And at the same time, there is no guarantee that things would work in your favor. But trust me, it will, because they need us. And no matter how they tweak it, they would find a way, particularly sensible politicians will find a way to provide for immigrants to stay in the country.
Thank you very much, Ola. I hope that has answered your question. Sorry, Bolu. Thank you very much for calling in. And gentlemen, we are at the end of this episode. We have only a few minutes to go. So I will like to thank you very much, for everything you have shared with us today. This has been a truly powerful and personal conversation, exploring how we, as Nigerians abroad, define who we are. Stay connected to our heritage and build a sense of belonging wherever we find ourselves. I'd like to sincerely thank you, our guests, Olola Ajayi and Olatokunbo Okeowo, for sharing your journeys and wisdom with such honesty. To our viewers and callers, thank you for tuning in and participating. The Nigerian Community Chronicle Live will continue to bring this important conversation to light. So if you or someone you know is facing a challenge or simply wants to share a story that can inspire others, please reach out to us through naked.org. Be a member, it's free. But remember, belonging isn't just about where you live. It's about who you are and the community you build around you. Until next time, I am Otunba Anthony Oluwafemi Kolade. Stay connected, stay inspired of your identity. Thank you, good night, and God bless.